So you mentioned the team there a few times. What's important to you when building a team? You know, when you get that money, I mean, you can only spend it on so many things, and people is the biggest cost most of the time. What's important to you when hiring, when recruiting, when building culture, when building a world-class team, getting them all on the same page, the same mission, the same vision? What's your perspective?
So first default, they have to be excited by the mission and the vision that we're building.
Yeah.
That's like number one. And secondly is, are they a good person? Will I enjoy working with them? Will the team enjoy working with them? And then it's talent and like how good they are at their job.
Sure.
And I think it's literally in that order, because you can't work for Hive if you're not actually excited by the mission.
Of
right?
course.
You have to like the mission.
Yeah.
And then it's, are you a good person? You know, like, are you gonna, care for your team, for the environment when you're making business decisions, everything? Are you a good person? And then thirdly, do you have the kind of skill set that we need for that role? I think the way that we've done talent at Hive is really different, and I'm really proud of that. Our first 2 full-time employees were the first 2 riders at Hive that were on the bikes with me and Matthias during that period. And they were, one of them was just a fresh graduate who, just had passion for bikes or something like that. And then the other one was, working part-time for Hive to get some shifts on the side. And both of them have so much passion for Hive because they've seen it, from my living room, picking up parcels and now leading teams. And they've grown with the company, amazing. They've not had X whatever background or scaled massive companies, whatever, but what they do have is grit and resilience.
Yes.
And they care about what we're doing, and they're good people. And those 2 are some of the best, seeing their growth journey has been amazing. And we've fostered a lot of young talent at Hive because we've had to be scrappy, because we didn't have luxury of lots of capital. And we found talent that really cared about what we were doing, and really intelligent and good people. And now we've also managed to top that up with amazing experience. We just hired a COO who was ex-CEO of HelloFresh from Series C to IPO, and comes with a wealth of experience. Our head of ops, it was scaled Moonpig, and previously was at HelloFresh and Amazon. So you couple that sort of young, grit, resilient talent with now sort of experienced leaders, and it's great. We've just launched a grad scheme in the past few months. We've hired 5 grads who will go on then, in a year time to figure out a place in Hive where they go. So I think we'll always continue to foster young talent, but couple that in with some great experience. And I think that's the blend that we want to retain at Hive, even as we scale. Yeah.
Aside from the more strategic exec senior hires, it sounds like you're of the philosophy to hire for attitude and then kind of train for skill.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
A cliche, but it's so true. And it's true, in my opinion, because as somebody that runs a recruiting company, I see the opposite happen so many times, where somebody will have all the right technical skills, but they're a dick, and like why would you want to work with them?
Exactly.
Right? And when they go, we'd love to hire this person, Alfie, I'm like, are you sure? Like really? So in 6 months, I don't know if you'll be feeling the same way, but is that your philosophy? Getting 100%. Grit, getting persistence, getting that character? Because those things, they can't be taught, can they?
They can't be taught. I think grit, resilience for me is like really important, but also just being a good person. Like I said, that is fundamentally important, because you make it impossible then to work as a team, cohesiveness. Sure. We have such a great team at Hive, and that's the one thing that I'm like the most proud of. When people ask me what you're most proud about so far, is like the team that we've built and seeing them interact with each other. And I think if you walk into our office, you can feel that environment, and it's really funny. Every time someone new joins, 2 months later, they're like, you weren't lying in the interview when you said everyone's here, it's amazing. And I'm just excited to how that scales. But for me, it's always about attitude first. You can't teach attitude, but you can teach skill. And if people have the right attitude, they'll learn the skill. So that's why attitude always comes first.
What about leadership? Because after you've hired a great team, you need to be the founder, be the chief exec, guide them, set the direction, inspire them, coach them, get them going. What's a good leader look like to you?
Still trying to figure that out, because it's my first leadership role. I just turned 28. I started Hive at when I was 25.
Me too. I'm 27, so
I've not had, I'm very open about that. But throughout my life, I've had different various leadership roles. I was captain of Man City Ladies Football Club, and just generally, being the only girl out of 2 brothers, had 2 brothers at home and stuff like that. You kind of you have to become a bit of a leader to fight for yourself.
To survive.
But I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of other leaders. And I think that's, whether that's from different industries as well, it might not just be from entrepreneurship. Like, football. I think Sir Alex Ferguson was an incredible leader. Whether you look at the politics or, Obama and different people, and read and get inspired by lots of different types of leadership. I don't think, for me, I've not figured out what my leadership style is just yet. I'm carving that as I get along. And also I learn from my team quite a lot. I take inspiration from a lot of my team members. They teach me every day, I should have done that differently or that. And I think as long as you're aware that you have to learn, you have to change, and you have to adapt according to the stage and size of the company, I think that's really important. Me and my leadership, what it was 2 years ago to what it is now, to what it is in 2 years, has to evolve and has to change. And I think if you're conscious about that and being self-reflective enough and have the people around you that are going to give you that feedback, then I think you just have to continuously evolve as a leader.